This is Leo Tamayo, and he is a freshman, first year student at IIT.
I'm Alexys Smith, and I am currently a freshman at Jackson State University.
This is Jordan Brooks. He's a freshman at Xavier University, Cincinnati, Ohio.
My choice of college, I love the school I'm at right now. I would 1,000% pick it again if I had the choice. Going into like my senior year, I thought I wanted like a really big school with like 40,000 people and stuff like that, just because I'm a social person. My mom wanted me to go to a really small school like Lake Forest, like 1,000 people. So we had very different views. So Xavier was kind of like the perfect middle ground because it wasn't a really small school that nobody's ever heard about, and it wasn't like a giant school where I was just like another face on the campus. Okay, because on campus I feel like I have a place I belong. Professors know me, my class is on a first name basis, so I get more one-on-one help. So academically and socially, it's a perfect fit for me.
IIT has been a good fit for me academically and socially because I like the small campus, like small classrooms. I get to know my professor and people like better. And academically, it's like for my major architecture, it has a really good program. I do some research about their programs there for whatever colleges you're gonna apply to. But the only thing is the financial part of the school. It's a private school, so it's a little bit on the like expensive side.
At first, I didn't think Jackson State was a good fit for me, only because I wasn't going out and meeting new people or attending campus events and learning what the school is like or what I could be involved in to get myself busy with things. But once I started doing that and advocating more for myself, I realized that Jackson State was a good fit for me.
In high school, I didn't study at all. Like, I would just go to class and then do well in the test because it was easier. So I got to college and I really had to study, but it was a matter of finding out how. So I used to cram the night before a test because I didn't realize how to study every day. So now that this semester's over, what I've learned is that you can't just cram the night before a test. So what I do is I'll review like a little bit each night and stuff like that for a couple hours, and then Saturday and Sunday I'll just review what we learned throughout the week and stuff like that, so that I know like, okay, now when I go to class next time I have a little foundation for what I know. And then once you do that, you just keep on building on it, and it's just a little better each time.
High school is very different from college. You're not gonna go into the school knowing anyone. You have to go out and meet people. You have to try to get yourself as involved as possible because it's just gonna make your process so much smoother and easier. Go out and talk to your professors, go to information sessions about the school, learn about study abroad programs or other programs that would be good for you. And also, before you choose a school, look more into it, research everything about it so you know like exactly what you're getting yourself into before you go down there.
The difference between college classes and high school classes is that for college classes, no one's gonna chase you down like they do in high school. Sort of, you have to manage your time, do your homework, be prepared, like take notes, which is key. Like try to write down as much as possible, and they're more fast paced, and yeah, they're just mostly more fast paced, and college classes are a little bit more challenging, and you have to prepare yourself for them.
Living in a residence hall was very different for me because at home I was so used to having my own room. My sister was off at college. My mom was always working, so I was always home alone, doing my own thing. But living in a residence hall, I had a roommate, which was very hard to adjust to at first because your space is very limited. I also had suite mates, so everything had to be shared in the bathroom. So I had to get pretty adjusted to that. It was some issues at first with that, but once everyone got on the same page, it kind of worked out.
I live on campus, so my first year. So at first I was homesick, even though I'm like an hour away. I still wasn't as comfortable, living there. But like after a while, like I made a lot of connections, a lot of friends. I got out of my comfort zone and like talked to other people, which I highly recommend. And I made a really good connection with my roommate. And overall it's been a good experience.
Just time management, because in high school I know that I could work a job, do my homework, play a sport, and do all that and still be able to keep good grades. In college, it's way hard to do that.
Adjusting to the workload. And it's very different than high school. I was so used to having the same classes every single day, but in college, you only have each class about once or twice a week. And I was tending to get a lot more assignments than I was in high school. So trying to organize my time and setting time aside to specifically work on certain assignments and study to prepare myself for tests and quizzes, that was a big adjustment.
I feel like Alexys Scholars has helped me prepare for my first semester of college, because they're gonna tell you literally everything that's gonna happen.
Yes, Evanston Scholars did help me a lot to prepare for my first semester. With a lot of the workshops, they were really helpful, a lot of great information. And with my meetings one-on-one with my pod leader, we talked about various ways I could sort of study and manage my time in a more efficient way.
I wish can't stress this enough how much money you really need to save for college. So for like the juniors and seniors, make sure you start saving now, because you're gonna get to school. I came to school with like $1,000 in my savings account. I thought that was enough for first semester, but you're doing so much, you're gonna get so involved on on-campus activities and stuff like that that you're gonna run out of money quickly. So yeah, just make sure you're saving a lot of money.
Something that I wish I knew a year ago before applying to colleges is most likely to apply to a lot of more scholarships. Scholarships will help you save a lot of money, and I wish I could have applied to more.
Probably applying to more scholarships, because I didn't realize how expensive college was. I thought the financial aid would cover whatever you couldn't pay for, and it's definitely not like that. Like all the other schools I applied to weren't giving me any money, and if it wasn't for Jackson State, I don't know where I would be going. So financially, you definitely need to apply for scholarships. I wish I known more about that. You need to start right away and apply to as many as possible, because it definitely will help you a lot.